Hey everybody, today I'm going to be on the shop today helping out the guys. We got a lot of work, so I will be doing a oil change on this right here. So before you do an oil service on any car, especially a sumped system car, you need to get the engine oil hot so it all drains out properly, and that starts with a test drive. It's also always good to test drive a car when you're servicing it. So we're gonna start with a test drive. So anytime you do an oil service on a car, it's always a really good idea to drive the car and get it up to operational temperature. So what we do anytime we do a service on a car, we always make sure the car is at operation temperature. So it's good just to go on a little test drive for a couple of reasons. When the oil's hot, it gets thinner, so it's easier to drain. It gets out some of the places in the engine, gets all of it circulating, so burns up the moisture from the car sitting and stuff like that. Good rule of thumb is obviously you don't want to go out and rev the car up to max RPMs until the car's up to operating temperature and stuff like that. But you can see right here, we've got the oil temperature here, and we want to get that up to operation temp before we perform the oil change. So we'll just do a quick 10-minute test drive and get it up to temperature, and then get back in the shop, get up on the rack, and drain the fluids. Alright guys, so we're back. Test drive went good. Didn't find anything concerning on the test drive. Test drive's not just for getting the engine oil hot, it's also utilized to check the car out and see if there's any issues or problems that could potentially be get worse in the future or be concerning of any sort. So everything went good on that. You can see right here, there is the oil temp up to operating temperature. Everything you'll notice is I have the top down. When you're servicing a Spider, it's always easier because you can just roll the top down, but in some cases more difficult because you have to remove components to do service on the engine. But anyway, I always leave the top down while I service the car in case I need to get inside on a Spider, roll down the windows. So yep, we'll go and get started on the oil service. Okay guys, so the first thing we're going to need to do is get the oil filter out of the car. I'm going to shine the allowance up to you. It is right down in that valley. Hard for you to see, it's right straight there. The access point is right there. So you'll need some extensions. A ratchet and a socket the size of the oil filter to get that off. You also want to remove the dipstick in this process to allow the oil to bleed out. Kind of loosen this thing up. Got 3 extensions, a 3-inch drive ratchet, and an oil filter socket. And you'll notice too, these are happens sometimes you'll need to swap out some of the swivel style extensions to get the proper angle. Should be a little bit better angle here because we don't want to hit the clamshell. Which also have these protective mats over to protect. And as you can see, this is a filter. Got it out. Time to replace the filter and the O-ring around it. And look how dirty it is. So it's definitely time for replacement. Got the Huracan up in the air. We've got the filter out. We've got the dipstick out. We've got the old oil filter right here. See that in the cap? Got our drain pan here. I have that. Got the lift point set. We use hockey pucks on it, if you can see it or not. Electrical clearance, so we don't have any interference with the chassis to the lift. And now we have got to remove this under panel here, and a plate here to get access to all the drain plugs. There are 8 drain plugs on the car, so I'm just going to pop these panels off and then kind of point out where these plugs are at, guys. But you can kind of see there's quite a bit of bolts involved in this service here, but nothing too big for us to take on, so we'll take all this stuff off and then kind of give you the next step. Okay guys, we have the first under panel off here. You can see the outline of where the bolts go. It's held in by torque spit screws and some push clips. And then we'll have to go to the next step and remove this piece here and the next under tray there. I just want to kind of let you guys see what the panel looks like. Here it is on our workbench. Just some torque spit screws and then some push clips to remove. And you'll have that panel on your way. Bring it to the next aluminum brace underneath. This is right here. And we'll need to remove these torque spit screws from here as well. We've got some triple square bolts as well to remove. And then this panel here. Once we got all that out of the way, we'll have access to all the drain plugs. Alright guys, so we have got the underside off now. You can see the rear of the transmission, the bell housing area. So everything looks nice and clean, which is good. But you can kind of see what all is hidden and restricted. I would like to give you guys a warning on some of these bolts. I don't know if you can see on the camera quality or not. They can get a little stripped out, and if you don't catch it if you're using impact, there's some sort of electrical driver. It's very easy to strip them out. What I normally do is take a hammer and tap in it a little bit better. It'll clean up the threads a little bit. You can also use an impact driver where you hit it with a hammer, and when you hit it, it also pushes in and turns. Some cases you have to use that. But just a heads up so you don't get a strip bolt get stuck. Here's the under panel itself. Here's the triple square bolts. And then the rest of the bolts holding it on. Alrighty, so right here we've got this drain plug removed here, the one on the side of the oil system here, and then there's 2 right there removed here and here, so that's 4 of the 8. And I'm just going to let this thing go until this stream completely stops. Alright guys, so we are going to go and torque the 2 small drain plugs. They are 5mm Allen, and with the 5mm Allen you torque them to 10 Newton meters with the new cross washers. Just going to do a double check, always under torques. Got our new crush washer. It is a 25 Newton meters. Alright guys, so now we've got the center sump plug, which is an 8mm, which is 45 Newton meters of torque. And now all of the engine sump drain plugs have been torqued. The gas has been replaced. Next thing I'll do is I'll clean all this excessive oil off with some brake clean and a towel. And we'll move back here to the drain pan or drain plug on the gearbox. And then we've got 3 plugs over in this vicinity. So now we've got the drain on the gearbox going now. We're just gonna let this thing go until pretty much it comes to a drip. It is a torque spit. It's a 30mm torque spit. You'll need to replace the crush washer as well with a new one. So we're just gonna let this thing drain for a little bit until it gets to about right there. Then we'll throw a new crush washer on it, torque it. And you will be torquing this one to 12 Newton meters. And you gotta be careful once again with these torque bits, because it's very easy to strip these out, especially the smaller ones. As you can see, this one's not very tight in there. I always take a hammer and tap them in there just to make sure they're nice and fitted very well. Right here on the socket, just give it a, see here it gets solid. Here it gets solid, just like that. And sometimes you can still run into an issue with it stripping, but it's just a good insurance policy. And now we will set to 12 Newton meters on our torque wrench. Here, beat. Now let's break this loose.
It's all scattered, man. Eventually I'll have somewhere, one place.
Let all that drain out.
That's part of it.
So we'll have to just kind of pop this one loose. Take advantage of our swivel. So we'll just let those drain just for a second, then we'll have to go up in there and clean up the mess of oil. Alright guys, so now we're just going to give these 2 drain plugs a quick torque now that they're in. That one's good. And then this one up top. This is a little tricky to get to. That's good to go. The camera cut out, but basically we just remove the drain plug here and let all that oil come out till it comes to a drip. And then what we'll do from there is replace the crush washer on the drain plug with a new one. And then we will torque it to 22 Newton, and we are going to torque this to 22 Newton meters. And now that's done. Clean the underside, brake clean, wipe it down. Here on the top. And since we got on top of the frame, I'll just spray a little bit on our rag here. Wipe that down nice and good. And then this underside of the engine. Get all this residual. Want nice and clean under here. And up here for the whole sump. We're going to just kind of show you the aftermath of it being cleaned up. See that? top plug and the front plug. They're all nice and torqued and good to go. Okay guys, we've drained all the oil out of the engine, got everything retorqued and resealed, so now it's time to install the oil filter. We're just going to lubricate this little O-ring right here, and it's got a specific orientation when you put it down to filter housing. So I've got a little bit of engine oil right here. Just get a little dab of oil on the O-ring. It's nice to have a little towel handy. And then you'll see right down here, and just so you can see, I don't know if you can see, there's a tab for this to come on up in. And then just get a little push. I think we're locked in right there. And then the next thing we need to do is replace the O-ring on the oil filter cap housing. So you can just use a little pick, something like this. And there is the old O-ring. Here is the new one. I'll just kind of run my finger around it to get all the gaps out. Then just take a little oil, spin that on there, and then just have a towel handy to get any of the excess oil off. So then you can just set this down in there. I just run it by hand usually and come back and go over it with a special adapter. We've got our special oil filter socket. I believe it's like a 32. I'm not sure. There's the part number on it right there. ASP product. Now, note, I have the top off because this car's in a service right now. So that is one of the things that we've got going on. That makes it a little easier, but it's still just with the rear lid open and a couple of extensions. So now I've got to where it's snug, and I just give it a little twist like this, like that. And that's pretty much it for the oil filter. Now it's time to put some oil in. I'm just going to remove the dipstick. I've got my towel set out for the dipstick as well. Filling device here. And that is the first fill. Pretty much the next step is you'll just put the dipstick back in on this car. Feels like an older generation dry sump system. It wouldn't be a big deal to leave it out. When you first start up on these, it will throw a vacuum leak fault code with the system. So we've got that in place. We've got 7 liters oil in there. We've got the new oil filter and O-ring installed. We've got all 8 drain plugs removed, drained the circuits, reinstalled them, new crush washers and torqued properly. The next step is to start the car up, let it on, get the operating temperature, hold it at about 25 RPMs for 60 seconds after it's up to operating temperature, cut off, wait about 60 seconds, check the fluid level. I'll walk you through those steps next. There's a couple things I'm doing to the car additionally. Coolant service and spark plug service. Once I finish all that up, I'll walk you guys through the next step of the oil service. Just, listen for any unusual noises or anything that might sound concerning, in case you may have missed a step somehow or something, got blocked up in the oil filter galley or whatever. But we're gonna start the car up, let it out for a little bit, and just see what's going on. Make sure we have oil pressure, get the car up to temperature, and then perform the oil level checking process. Good. The engine up to operation temperature. We've got the oil level up to 90 degrees Celsius. So now I'm going to walk you through the oil check process. You'll see right here, this bar right here, you got the first bar is 50, 70, 90 degrees Celsius. That's where you want to be on oil temp. You want to be right here at this top line on the temperature. Now this is a tricky part. These cars have a very sensitive throttle, but you want to hold at 2,500 RPMs for about 50 seconds. Sometimes it takes a second to get to go there. And what I normally do is I just get pretty close to that. Once I get about right there, I'll just pull out my phone and just hit my stopwatch for 50 seconds. And once you hit 50 seconds, just immediately let off the gas. Let the car idle for about 5 seconds. Then cut it off, reset your timer to 60 seconds, and pop the rear engine access panel. After the 60 seconds goes by, then you can check the oil level. You have about, I don't know, 60 seconds to maybe 2 minutes before the oil level goes back down to the dry sump. Alrighty, so now we're about to let the gas out. We're going to let it idle. And now we are going to cut the car off. Coming up. Alright, now you're good to check it. Have your towel ready. Just remove the dipstick. So now we need to add some more oil. So now we're going to add about a liter of oil. Okay guys, so we tested another oil level adjustment on the car after the first one. We had to add about 2 liters of oil to it. And see right there, we're on the fill right here to that line, so we're in good standing. So we have the right amount of oil in it. Okay guys, that sums up our oil change on the Lamborghini Huracan that we were performing a service on. Thanks for watching, and just as a summary, we covered the test drive to get the car up to operational temperature for getting the oil ready to be drained, draining all 8 drain plugs, replacing the crush washers, torquing the drain plugs, removing and replacing the oil filter, adding oil to the car, and checking the oil level. The only thing you have left to do that we didn't cover was put all the under panels back on the car, and before you do that, just verify there's no leaks in the drain plugs. You'll also need a scan tool to reset the maintenance light on the car, and other than that, you'll be good to go. If you guys have any questions, please comment below and ask. We are trying to cover anything we can related to exotic cars, so we appreciate you guys watching, and please like and subscribe.